The audio. Dun dun dun. All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Melee Monkeys with co-host Brashear.
Hey guys, what's up?
And today we have a special guest, another guest. His name is Day, and he is one of our range DPS, a demo demonology warlock. Say hi if you'd like.
Hello all.
Cool. So this is actually the first time we've had a range DPS guest on our show. We've had mainly healers and a tank. So it should be interesting to get your perspective, which I'm really excited about. Tonight we're going to talk about some of the things we did on our raid nights. So that's Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So Monday night was when we first killed Blast Furnace on normal. So basically, we're just gonna hop into that, and I want to get both of your guys' impressions of that fight. Um, I guess we'll start with Day. What's your first overall impressions of that fight?
Well, Blast Furnace is it's interesting. I don't know if they've actually ever done a fight like that one before. It's a weird mix of you need to AoE all the things, and then you need to single target not all the things. I'm not really sure how to go with that one. It almost comes across as like you need to pick a single target spec as opposed to an AoE one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I totally know what you're getting at. That's what I was telling Rhuller after some of the attempts. I was like, Bladestorm's great, but like, I know I can help kill this ad, and like, if I wasn't allowed to AoE the things, I wouldn't have ran Bladestorm. So it's like a weird balance. Like, I guess you have to have some of your raid run AoE and some of it run single target. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because we were talking about that, and I'm just gonna give a quick rundown of the fight. Really simple. There's basically a lot of ads come, and you have to DPS them down. You have to run bombs to break down um, the furnace basically. And once both sides are down, you have to split the raid. And once both sides are down, it does second phase, and you have to bring these elementals over to these elementalists, kill those elementals on them, and then it unlocks breaks their shield, DPS them down, and you got to do that 4 times. There's 4 dudes, and then it unlocks the big dude that you see there, and you got to just DPS them down. It's obviously a little bit more complicated than that, but not really. um, and yeah, like there's so much going on. Like the first bit is just like so AoE heavy, and everything is just like constantly spawning, and you're just like, oh, like the DPS, and then all of a sudden it's like you have to switch to single target, and you're like, oh, okay. And for me, like as a DK, it's actually quite easy. Like Brash and I were talking that I do a lot of passive AoE and with my dots, and I'm not sure what. I actually have no idea how demonology works, so I'm looking forward to hearing how it works. But I do so much passive AoE damage, and I still do a lot of single target to the ads and stuff, and it's just like, so I do really well, but I would prefer to like be constantly on ads because DPS meters, lol. So Day, like, how I want to know what it's like to demonology warlock basically. What are some of the things like? Is demonology more dot heavy, or is it just kind of like all like a bunch of AoE casts, or what is it about?
Well, Demon it's a little different from the other specs. I guess the best way I can describe it is you have periods where you do practically no damage. You're just sitting there like, oh, this is great. I'm just enjoying the scenery. And then you have 5 seconds of I'm going to blow up all the things, and it's fantastic. But aside from those 5 seconds, it's very, very, very slow because you literally have about 4 global cooldowns where you blow up the world, and then that's it. You have to wait for all these things to come off cooldown. And that's your AoE rotation, which is why we do so well in things like Beast Lord, and not so well in things like constant AoE. But Blast Furnace, we're fine on the first part because it is fairly AoE heavy. Demon is a split. I mean, if we're single targeting, your best spell is actually a dot. You have to keep that running in terms of like time spent casting versus damage done. Yeah, you run your dots. But if you're looking for burst, well then you pop into demon form and drop all your AoE and then pop back out again. It's almost not like a caster. It's almost a combination of I don't know, maybe mage and warrior.
Ooh.
Because you do have a fury bar, and that's very warrior. It's a much slower fury bar than warrior, but you still have your mana. So when you're in caster form, you're draining your mana, and you can still life tap to get that up. But the whole point of caster form is to gain enough fury to pop into demon and use all your spells that blow up all the things, which is where all the numbers come from. And as Brash can attest to, I do practically no damage except for when execute occurs, and I pop all my cooldowns, and oh look, I'm number 1, 2, or 3 on the DPS meters from like 10 or 11 wherever I was.
Hey, in our raid group, me and you are like, top 5 a lot of the time, even before execute. So, but I'm not sure if that would be the case if you were like, maybe in a slightly higher caliber guild, to put it bluntly.
Then yeah, that's probably true. I don't know. I haven't really looked at the overall specs and how the DPS breaks down for the various fights. I do know that just through reading a couple forums and whatnot that things like Blast Furnace and to a lesser extent Operator are AoE fights with a very strong single target focus. So some locks will actually take a single target spec instead of an AoE spec and just gimp their DPS in favor of being able to kill the bad ads that need to die more quickly.
Yeah, I actually had a question about that. I was reading about Beast Lord, and certain, I guess, mythic, heavily progression guilds would get their warlocks to run single target talents because they were basically it's to kill the boss quicker, and the ads were dying fast enough, I guess, with the rest of the raid killing them. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's perfectly plausible. I mean, I think Demon, its particular strength is burst AoE DPS, so if you're going to have a Demon lock, you should probably have them on the ads. But the problem is we have so few strengths at the moment, no matter what your spec is, that, you better tailor to it. You might as well go AoE DPS on the ads, because your single target isn't fantastic. It's nothing compared to a sub-rogue or one of the other ones.
Right. Yeah, that sounds like a little bit like my situation where if there's ads, I need to be running Bladestorm or I will do subpar. And if there's no ads, then I can actually finally drop Bladestorm and do pretty well because of Avatar or Bloodbath, single target talents. And it's kind of frustrating when it's a fight that, like Beast Lord, sometimes the ads are dying so quickly, I'm like, should I just be running single target and screw this? Because it's really a choice. I can't once I've chosen Bladestorm, that really, really hinders my execute and my overall burst of single target.
But the numbers, you get such big numbers, you're not going to make 70k without Bladestorm. There's no way.
No, exactly.
You're just not.
No, totally. A 3-minute fight, I can do 40k, but a 6-minute fight, I'm doing 30, 35 or whatever. To break 40, you need Bladestorm, period.
It's weird that way they have it, and I think Warrior's actually in a pretty similar case to Locks right now. Is you have an AoE spec, and then you have a single target spec, but you don't have one that crosses that boundary really, really well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just my understanding of it.
Well, that makes a lot of sense based on what we've talked about in raid chat. In whispers during raid, because someone like a DK, like Rhuller, their spec, their 3 talents, their AoE one, basically they just get different variations of AoE, where their single target is always strong no matter what they run, and that's really nice. I think that would be really nice. What do you say about that, Dre? Rhuller?
Well, yeah, I totally agree. My single target is death coil. What? Defile, as my talent, and it still does a shit ton of AoE. Like on Operator Thogar, like that's what I'm running. I'm running Defile. I'm not running Necrotic Plague. So, and you can see that I can do it really well on that fight, and so it's really nice. And then Necrotic Plague, I've actually been thinking about switching to Necrotic Plague for Orgorger because of the second phase when he's rolling around, because my Necrotic Plague does a shit ton of damage even on single target. Not as much as Defile probably, but because he's rolling around, there's downtime where I can't use Defile, so it might actually be benefit in there. But yeah, like in Blast Furnace, using Necrotic Plague is like like it's the only way to do it to get ranked, basically. Like you were saying, Bladestorm. Sure, I could run Defile and probably still do really well, but Necrotic Plague, if I don't use Necrotic Plague on, say, Chromog, or probably Blast Furnace, I'm not going to rank. Like, I'm pretty stuck with Necrotic Plague for those fights, but not all fights. Like, not all AoE fights have to be Necrotic Plague, so I have a little bit of choice there, where for you, as a warrior, you don't really.
Yeah, like on Chromog example, like I would probably do 35k or something if I didn't run Bladestorm, whereas I feel like a DK could still potentially reach close to 40 even with Defile, because you have AoE still.
Yeah.
My Whirlwind, my base AoE without Bladestorm is pretty terrible, as you see on the trash when I'm not running Bladestorm. Like on trash pulls, I'm just using Whirlwind and stuff, and it's like I'm like 10th.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I does sound like Warlocks are a little bit more like Warriors in that case.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It's actually really interesting because I've played a Warlock, but not really. I have like a level 70, and I've always played Destro because I found Demonology to be really boring, and it could be really boring low level, but really good, and high level. But yeah, so it's really interesting to hear like that point of view as a Warlock. So for Blast Furnace, you said like your spec day is not particularly good at constant AoE because you have some downtime waiting for stuff to come on. Is that probably the biggest issue for this fight for you?
That's an issue for any demon lock. If we go back to Mists, and I like going back to Mists because this was when Destro was just, and Af to a lesser extent, was just king. Oh god, so good, so good. Destro's AoE in Mist was insane. Like you could constantly AoE. It was Bladestorm on crack. Like you can wreck any Bladestorm warrior because you never stop AoEing. Brash has his 5 seconds. I have my, what is it, a 45-second cooldown, so I get the other 40, where I'm still doing as much damage. But Blizzard decided, oh no, Destro, can do that. So we can't do that anymore. We actually have enough of a problem with our resource generation that it's just not. It's not good. You lag. If you make one mistake, you've just hosed your AoE for the next 10 seconds, and there goes your damage.
That sounds like Fury. Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like Fury.
Demon is different in that your resource generation, as far as your AoE is concerned, is not tied to what you do. It's tied to time. So if you wait 15 seconds, you're going to have another big burst of AoE, or if you wait another 30, you'll have another one. It's clockwork. So it really depends on when those ads are spawning. If it's constant, yeah, it's not so good. If it's comes in bursts, it's a lot better.
Interesting.
Right. It's so much like Fury.
Yeah, Brash. So what do you think is your biggest struggle? Is it kind of the same issue where you kind of don't know whether you should do single target or AoE, or is it like some sort of mechanic in the fight? Like, is there anything particular about the fight that you find either difficult or annoying, or something that you feel like maybe a strat could be changed, anything like that?
Well, I mean, for Blast Furnace, if I'm going to be on the ads, which did work, we got the kill, which we'll probably stick with, I would assume. That's fine. Sometimes Bladestorm can be a bit, top heavy, so I end up pulling freshly spawned ads, and I take a lot of damage. But yeah, it's okay. The strat we currently ran on the kill was good. I'm happy with it. But if if it turns out that, we're not going to have me on the ads, it'd be frustrating to run Bladestorm and then have to single target without my single target talents. It's really frustrating. So yeah, I'm happy it turned out the way it is, but like, I think if I was not on ads, I would just not run Bladestorm. I would be killing the ads really quick, like the skulls, the ones we have to kill.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be ranking, but I'd be helping the raid, as long as someone else is killing those ads.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I really wanted to do, the AoE ads, but like, it's true that like, because I have that passive AoE, that I'm probably best to not just be on the ads. So like, I understand. I totally understand Joel's point. I just wanted to get more deeps, pretty much, is all I wanted.
Right. Of course, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Like, if I was like able to AoE a little bit, and it's like, if I could just do this, I would be like, I could rank so well.
Yeah.
And but no, I think you're actually, in all honesty, I think you're one of the best classes on that fight. Because you can nuke. You did like, well, we looked at the logs, and you did 30% more damage on the final boss thing, like the Fire Lord dude. You did 30% more damage than I did, because I was running Bladestorm. That's including execute phase. Like, I should have done a ton to him, but I didn't have my talents. And at the same time, you still did 40k DPS. You were only like 2k lower than me. Like, you were passively basically doing my job plus kill the boss better.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of insane. Dave, what talents did you run in that fight, and like, how did that go down? I know you covered that a little bit, but specifically, maybe.
All right, we can do that. Demon Locks, if you're AoEing, you run your Grimoire of Synergy, which basically means when your pet, it's on a cooldown, but every so often when your pet attacks, you do 15% more damage. And every so often when you attack, your pet does 15% more damage. So it tends to actually line up so that when you're dropping your giant nukes on that boss's head, that you're in that 15% range. The other one you take is Cataclysm, and that's just a big ol' AoE nuke that you pop all your cooldowns. It hits them for about 150k, and then dots them too. I mean, really simple minute cooldown, and that's part of your you blow up the boss, and then you're done for the next minute. But it's weird, and I was thinking about it, and we are not a cutting edge progression guild. We're much more casual, and in those progression guilds, you do have the breakdown of, you see the locks going single target because they have the cooldowns to actually do that, to burst down those ads. But I think because I did go AoE, I can help out on those ads. I mean, you might not see me doing it, and even large is like, single target the ads, or single target the skull. I'm still cleaving the ads like crazy because they need to go down, or we're going to get overwhelmed. I mean, I take large with a grain of salt, and I'm kind of glad he's not here so I can say this, and he's gonna, listen to this later and be probably pissed. But if we were cutting edge progression, maybe I'd run single target. But for what we are, no, I think the AoE is helpful. I don't lose enough single target that I think it makes it worthwhile for the kind of guild we are.
Well, this is a little off topic, and we'll get into this fight later, but I noticed on Iron Maidens, like at the end of the kill or whatever, Large was like, okay, single target, and I was actually obeying it because I don't know, I just didn't want to push them or whatever, be the one, because it's so obvious when I'm AoEing, like I'm in melee, I'm a Tauren, and I'm spinning for 10 seconds. It's like, you can't miss it. And I know Large sees me every time, and I think I was watching the meter, and me and you were like pretty tight, and then like Large called to stop AoE, and I just like slowly lowered to like 40k DPS, and you're like going up to 45. I'm like, dude, he's totally AoEing.
I may have been guilty on that. I mean, the problem is, if I stop AoE with that spec, I basically stop single target. Like, I lose both my biggest single target hits and my biggest AoE hits, so I'm basically doing no damage if I don't AoE. Like, that's just the way the class is built at that point. I just do nothing. I might as well stop casting.
Right, that's kind of like me too. Like, I mean, I stop because I can't avoid hitting the other mobs with Bladestorm. But Bladestorm does hit all targets, so it is a single target increase also, but I didn't want to push the other guys down. And like you were saying, like not following exactly what Large was saying. Tonight, I was totally not targeting the square on Iron Maidens because I noticed that we were just pushing them a little bit far for basically to enable me to keep bladestorming. I needed a more even, so I would be on a different target, and I think it was a good thing, as long as not everyone does that. It's good.
Yeah, so as long as nobody listens to this pod, we're all great. Nobody actually follow what Day and Brashear do because we're not doing the right thing.
Yeah, this is a terrible thing. Don't listen to either of us. This is a bad combo.
Well, but that's why you guys are both top 2 DPS, because you don't listen to the tanks.
Well, yeah, maybe I would have beaten Day on Iron Maidens if I had.
Yeah.
Well, there's the age-old question. Dead Brashears do no damage, but does 2 times Lust Brashear do more damage?
If I'm dead for like 1 second and I can actually, because sometimes you can get a second pot, or like a third pot, I guess it is, and sometimes you can, sometimes you can, and I didn't get the second pot. And I think if I could have, it might have pulled ahead, but no.
Because I actually have no execute on that fight. I'm AoEing so much that I can't actually execute them. I'm just dotting them all day long and dropping my nukes on their heads. So when one of them dies, my DPS actually goes down because my execute is crap.
Yeah.
It's really weird the way that spec works.
I think, actually, I should check this because I'm not sure, but when there's only 3 ads, 3 mobs, I believe it used to be, like in 6.0, execute was better than bladestorming. So, or not bladestorming, but whirlwinding. So I would just execute at that point, and that's what I did tonight. And I'm not sure if that's still the case. I should definitely check that. Because that's what I still do that, basically. Like, I swap to single target execute, even when I'm running Bladestorm, if there's 3 or less mobs.
Oh, with locks it's easy. If there's more than 2 mobs, Cataclysm their face off.
Oh, man.
Really simple rules.
Yeah, mine has, like, breakpoints all over the place. Like, I can't even remember some of them. Like, if an execute procs mid-fight, do I use it or not? If there's, like, 5 ads. I think at 5 you don't use it, but 4 you do. Like, there's all these little, like, things.
Yeah.
I feel like melee is like that. Like, a lot of the melee classes, because when I'm playing my rogue, and I don't necessarily play my rogue fantastically, but I played okay. Like, I'm paying much more attention to these little nitpicky details, whereas when I'm on my lock, it's much more like percent based. Like, am I in execute? Do I have all my cooldowns? Should I have saved my cooldowns? Yes. Well, I didn't. Oh, I'm a dumbass. Did I? Yes. I win. Number 1 DPS.
Oh my god. What was that fight you, like, destroyed me on? Sorry, actually, do we want to, like, get this train back on the tracks?
a little bit.
Okay, yeah, we've been rambling.
No, I just wanted to say, because Stealth said that when he lets his rupture fall off the other 2 maidens, he wants to cry. And, like, the thing is I'm really lucky because my single target, like, if I have my necrotic plague, because it spreads to nearby dudes, like, and part of my single rotation is using Festering Strike. Festering Strike refreshes my dots, and so my dots actually can never come off unless I literally stop, like, all single target. Like, I literally stop attacking. So, like, I'm still doing AoE without doing anything with AoE. I just basically stop Blood Boil. But yeah, to come back to Blast Furnace. Basically, I just wanted to finish it up and just do you guys think that the overall, like, I know Brash, you said that you think the overall strategy is fine and all that stuff. Day, is there anything that you think that we could improve on the fight, or basically not?
Furnace is, I'll be real honest, Furnace is such a fustercluck, and I like that particular combination. I really need to see it in heroic. I mean, because normal is, I mean, it's not bad, but it is normal. And from everything I've read, heroic is a huge step up for Blast Furnace. It's even harder than Iron Maidens. So I really want to see that before I, take the plunges. Okay, I actually need to go single target to blow up those ads. Or, yeah, I need to stay AoE so we can actually stay ahead of the spawning. I don't know that normal's a real great gauge of progress.
Yeah, that's a good point. Cool. Unless either of you have any more comments, we'll move on to what we did on Tuesday, which we don't have a lot to talk, but I do have some notes down. Anything else on Blast Furnace?
No, no. Let's move on. Just remind me what happened on Tuesday, because I've already forgot.
Yeah. Tuesday is where we did a bunch of bosses. We did the Hands of Franz, Flamebender, Kromog, and I got my third piece of tier from Kromog, Heroic, which was, nice. And Kromog is that was the night that I topped the DPS meter, and I was so excited, and it was amazing.
Oh, that was Kromog?
Yeah.
Yeah, when that happened, I was like, this is where Rhuller, like, should be, basically. Like, this is where, if you played amazingly, and obviously you must have, I got a little bit unlucky, but that's my own fault. I was trying to basically be greedy, and it didn't pay off, basically. Mm-hmm. And you did like 42k or something, and
I did 44.
44? Wow.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the power of DK, and I was really impressed because you were good, like in Highmall, you were getting your single target figured out and whatnot, but your AoE was still an issue. Remember we talked about this?
Oh yeah.
And then it's just gotten better and better as we've progressed through Heroic now in Blackrock, and I think it's at the point where you're pretty close to, like, quite ideal. On every AoE fight, I'm like, me and Day start out, we're like 200k DPS, right? And then 2 minutes or 3 minutes into the fight, Ruller's there at third, and he's just slowly creeping up, and we're just like, no, stay down.
Yeah, well, it's funny because my pulls aren't very strong at all, and they're up there, but they're not nearly like what you guys can do, and it's just like, so I'm
that's a DK thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed, but like I know that by the end of the fight or mid fight that I'm pretty up there, so it is really nice, and it feels good to be where I'm at after such a short time of playing, and it's just that fight really made me realize that I can still do well. I know I've been playing well, but I know I can do better. So now I'm remotivated to be better. So that was really nice. We also did Gruul. We did Thogar, and Thogar was such a quick kill. I felt like I couldn't really do much because we didn't get the second split, and the second split's where I blow up all my cooldowns and all that stuff. So my damage was quite low on Thogar. Do you guys remember that fight at all? What were your feelings on that fight?
To be fair, I think that's probably all of us. If we don't get that second split, boy, is our DPS host.
Yeah.
That one was...
If that fight can end right after that second split, I want to see what the damage is, because that would be amazing.
Yeah, after the... I think after the first split, me and Day are both like around 80k. The second split probably more like 60, 70. Yeah, maybe 70. I'm so over that fight. I hate it. I did so well in the first few kills, and now I've gone down since, and it's because I blame Bladestorm. It doesn't scale with crap. As the raid kills the ads quicker, I do less damage. Like my Bladestorm is completely reliant upon, it's so situational, right? It's not just like, Bladestorm because of ads. It's like, no, there's a lot more to it than that. They have to be stacked. They have to die within approximately 10 seconds, ideally, because that's like any shorter and it gets clipped. Any longer and it's, then you're lowering your damage.
How long is Bladestorm? You have to forgive me because I do not warrior, at least not since vanilla.
I feel like it's 8 seconds.
That's longer than I thought it was. I thought it was like 4 or 5 seconds.
No, it's friggin' forever. I literally, on progression fights, I'll click Bladestorm and take a drink. It's not even a joke. I take my hand off the keyboard because I can't do shit while it's happening. It literally locks out all my spells. And Rhuller actually said that might be one of the reasons why it doesn't scale very well, is if I could use my rest of my rotation as it's happening, that would make it scale better, and I kind of agree.
Does it scale with haste? Like the more
No.
haste you get, the faster it goes.
No.
Oh, that's crap.
Oh, it's total crap.
That's like broken lock stuff from like 2 expansions ago that we had that problem. Oh, that's crap.
Oh, there's talk about them implementing haste scaling for it because it's basically for the fact that it gets worse as you progress, pretty much. I mean, it's always nice to go into a new difficulty, like going from normal. We were killing stuff a little bit quick, and I'm like, oh crap. And then we go into heroic, and all the ads are lasting forever, and I'm like, yeah, perfect. And then we get to the point where we have enough gear where we're nuking those fights, and it goes back down. It's like this roller coaster ride, right?
See, you've gone down and I've gone up because I have my 4-piece now, and my 4-piece actually makes my AoE stronger, and I only need 3-4 seconds to do it. So we're kind of flip-flopping here. Actually, I'm probably the reason that your DPS has gone down, because when I drop those 4 nukes, that's a good, I don't know, probably million DPS on each one.
Oh, definitely. And Rhuller has gotten better too. Like he's got more gear, and I think his gear scales his AOE like mad. Like every stat scales it. People like Regoth have really came up in the AOE department.
Yeah, Regoth, I forgot about him. Yeah, his is gonna do really well too.
Everyone's gone up. It's just like Beast Lord's like the worst. It's like the ads die in like 6 seconds, and I'm sitting there spinning. I'm like, ah.
Do I need to link the GIF so you feel better? I mean, I feel like I should.
That GIF should be linked in my chat every pod. I don't even care who does it. It just needs to be done every time. Yeah. So Thorgar. So I mean, we don't need to talk about it, but yeah, it was like he died so quick. None of us could do anything really. It was just kind of like bleh.
Let's
Yeah,
just.
I'm over
I mean,
that fight.
just 2 seconds. Yes, we're over this fight, but how much faster did he die? I mean, I realize we kind of shrunk
almost-
that raid down a little bit, but was it like a minute faster? I mean,
It was
that's-
almost 2 minutes faster. I think it was a minute.
Oh, was it
a
that
minute.
much?
A minute
That's-
and 50 seconds.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was insane.
Like, from when we were hitting enrage to like, oh, now we have 2 minutes to spare. No big deal.
Yeah, it's like it's so strange with our raid makeup. It's just like like Joel said tonight, like with Orgorger, he felt like Orgorger was going to be annoying, but we literally like one shot it, and we also one shot Iron Maiden's normal, and like we seriously like I don't know what happened, but everyone was just like, lol, we're gonna try now or something. I don't even know, but it was just like so strange. Everyone just like picked up, and it was like insane.
Brash gain +1 to keyboard face rolling. Does more damage.
Does not matter.
It's a skill, yeah.
Yeah, and that I also got in my BlackRock cache on Tuesday. I got that mythic trinket with a socket, which was
Oh, I'm still waiting for mine to proc.
Oh,
I'm so
man.
jealous.
it was so.
Oh, you don't have yours yet?
So sick.
No, I'm so irritated.
That sucks because I wish I got it before we did the raid, but it was still really awesome to get. So that was really dope. Did anybody? I don't know if you remember. Did either of you get any like good loot on Tuesday or anything? Didn't you get your 4 set, Brash?
I already had my 4 set, I believe.
okay.
Wait. Yeah, I feel like I already had it. But I did
Yeah,
get...
you and I had our 4 sets come Tuesday. It was kind of like testing it out.
Right. I did... So I won... yeah, it was Tuesday. I won Thogar Heroic Shoulders. And I passed them to Ankill because I didn't realize I had a socket in mine. Because we both had normal mode. And I'm like, okay, so... and the shoulders don't have crit baseline. So even if they're heroic without a socket, I would get no crit from them. Whereas with the socket, I have a little bit of crit. So I was like, okay, I'll just give it 10 kill.
Right.
More of a clear upgrade.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And did you win anything, Day?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's no big deal. I mean, it's actually getting to the point where I've been mostly 685, so
Yeah.
Warforged is kind of the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty much in the same boat. The only thing I need an upgrade for, like actual upgrade is a belt, because I'm still wearing a 670 belt. Other than that, I think I'm 685 and higher. So
Oh wow, you guys are cheating. Let me just log it in here. I have.
I got lucky with that weapon at the start and stuff, heroic Warforged, and with the item level up boost, it became 691. So
Oh, I guess I don't need that many anymore. I have shoulders that are 670, gloves are 670, belt 670, and trinket is 676. So I kind of like 3.5 pieces.
cool. So I guess we'll move on to what we did tonight. So tonight we just did heroic ore gorger, which was easy peasy. I hugged him a little too tight and died at one point, but that was okay.
Did you get a battle res?
I did large bres me.
I do have one comment on that fight, and
Okay.
it was, we had started the, I guess it was this, yeah, it was this first roll phase, and I'm looking at the health, and he's like, wait, I got us all mixed up. Basically, some point in the fight, he was in his roll phase, and he was roughly like 50% health. I'm like, okay, roll phase, the DPS is lower, so I'm going to pop wreck, and it'll be fine. Because that's how I time it, basically, depending on, because I pop wreck at the beginning of the fight, on the pull, and it's 3 minutes cooldown. If we're at 50%, I can pop it, and then we'll be at roughly like 0 when it's up again. So I'm like, okay, including the roll phase, it should be fine. I use it, and I don't know what everyone did, but everyone's decided to DPS like crazy, and there was like a minute left on wreck when he died, and I was like, damn, I could just like screwed myself over so hard. I had no cooldowns up for execute, 0.
Oh yeah,
I just popped a pot.
yeah, because my execute starts at 45%. So once I hit that, I literally popped everything before he went into that second roll phase.
That's not an execute. That's half the fight.
That's hacks.
What is this? What is this nonsense? I
But-
wish I had a 45% execute.
Yeah, well, it's my Soul Reaper, and it takes 5 seconds to actually hit, so it kind of balances out, maybe.
Your Soul Reaper is like number 3 on a single target fight. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really bad when I forget to do it because it doesn't proc, right? It's not like actual execute where it's like it procs and tells me to do it. I do have like a weak aura telling me that, yo, it's 45%, like do something. I'm like, oh, okay. But sometimes I actually forget, and you can actually see my damage. Like that Gruul fight on Tuesday, I literally derped and forgot like half of, like, from 45% to probably like 25%. I didn't Soul Reaper because I was so like zoned out because that fight is so raffle Mao. Oh my god. So and I dropped. I did well, but I probably could have done better. But yeah. Anyways, sorry.
Okay, I have to ask this as somebody who has DK who is terrible with it. Can you, if you Soul Reaper, can you immediately Soul Reaper again and have 2 Soul Reapers, or does it overwrite?
No,
Because I know it's got like the 5-second tick.
No, you can't even cast it while it's on a target, basically. So it's like, it has a 5-second cooldown as well as it's ticking, and you need a rune up as well.
Yeah, I need the rune thing. Okay, so you can't have 2. Okay, well, that
That'd be so
explains why
awesome.
I'm so terrible.
That'd be so awesome, though.
I'm not leveling my DK. Nope, we're done.
Yeah.
DKs are great. Like as alts, they're really fun. They're like a warrior, but less gimpy with crappy gear.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I have to say, I like my rogue a lot. It's just you need so much gear because I've been dabbling in sub, and it's just like this rotation is a pain in the ass. I don't have any multi-strike. I suck at this. But then I see those sub rogues. They're like, oh lol, I'm in heroic gear doing 40k on Gruul, and I'm like, huh, I want this. Well, I know Ken has this.
Yeah.
But no, I think they're like probably number 1 in terms of sims. So yeah, that might be why.
I think Arcane's still number 1, but
Don't even get me started. 2
that
buttons.
doesn't count.
I know. I've gone over the 2-button thing, and it's just like, yeah. Anyway.
You know what's just a random comment about 2-button specs is I find some of the 2-button specs are the hardest specs in the game. Not literally 2-button specs. Like I find arms harder than Fury, and it's like literally 3 buttons. It's something to do with the timing and like the dot tracking. It's just all this like babying, and I'm like, oh my god, kill me.
Oh, brash.
And then you still, on top of that, you still have to track all your cooldowns, and you have to make sure you don't screw anything up and line things up and all that. You know, the basic stuff. And like Fury, at least, like, you know, you can just kind of tunnel into one guy and just nuke the crap out of him. You don't have to for arms to do single target, you still have to multi-dot every target. Like it's
Yeah, that.
Not
You
a
sound
fan.
like a warlock. That's cute.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know. That's,
maybe
I
that's why I
know.
say I hate dots. Like I hate warlocks.
I hate dots.
Not more dots. Less dots.
What? That's not how this goes.
Less dots. Need less dots.
No,
Okay, stop
it does
dots.
not compute. No, no, never stop dots.
So yeah, Orgorger. Like I said, I'm really contemplating on switching to Necrotic Plague for that fight. I think I'm gonna do it next time whenever we do Orgorger, because I at least want to see if it's even competitive to Defile as single target, because I think it would be.
I think you would benefit a lot coming as dot class. The reason that Trog and I do so well in that fight is because there's little boxes scattered all over the place, making multi-dot, all the things. But then Orgorger's rolling around for a minute with our dots sticking on his face.
I wonder.
So,
Oh.
yeah, I think you would do very well with Necrotic over Defile.
This is interesting. I wonder if when he rolls over a box that hasn't been killed, if my dot spreads to it.
Probably.
Oh my
It
god,
probably does.
that would be so amazing. I need to try that. Oh my god, that's confirmed. Must try.
I see no reason why that wouldn't. So you should try that.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna rage at you after you beat me on Wargorger, because I always stay number one on Wargorger. But
don't-
Dude, if a melee beats a dot class on Orgorger, that will be the day.
Yeah.
okay, but he is technically a dot class, is unholy. I'm just gonna go ahead and come out and say this. He has a pet. He has dots. He's basically a melee warlock as an unholy.
It's true though.
I have actually topped that fight a few times, but it's only because of amazing execute luck.
Amazing execute.
As it goes with warriors.
Execute.
A whole execute.
Dude, Day, your execute is like almost as strong as mine. I'm like pulling ahead.
Okay, the stars have to align, and I have to not, be drinking that night to not suck at execute. And I say this somewhat lightly because raid nights are Day buys, a case of beer, and it's like, oh, let's raid and have beer. Fantastic. But unfortunately, that does not do wonders for my execute phase. Imagine that.
It's funny how that works, eh?
Hey, mine works just the same. I gotta line up like 3 cooldowns.
Yeah, but you're not drinking beer. You're drinking tea.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean, if it's special tea, I don't know if you guys have that up there. That might be a state thing. Anyway,
I could see weed in tier.
tier, wheat and tier.
Crying
I cried
the
the
weed.
weed. Whoa. Okay. Anyways,
Yes.
let's hop back to So Orgorger, we talked about Orgorger. So the big Kahuna is heroic Iron Maidens. So I mean, it's really not any different from normal. It honestly didn't feel that much harder, except for when I was on the boat and the tick of the blood things like hit a lot, because I died to that twice, I think.
Hit like a truck. What?
Like a truck. So I really want Day's perspective on this fight, because as a ranged, like, what are some of the things that you find the most annoying about this fight as a ranged DPS? Do you find it anything annoying, or do you think it's better as ranged, or anything like that?
Honestly, I having done it on my rogue and playing, assassination on my rogue, that is a great fight for assassination. By the way, stealth, you've got to be like having a heyday, because 3-target or 2-target assass is fan-frickin-tastic. But anyway, I digress. The most annoying part by far is just the movement. There is so much movement in that stupid fight if you don't want to get, 2-shot. I'm a lock, so I don't get 1-shot. And I say that, and it's funny because it's true. I can't get 1-shot. You have to move for bombs, and then you have to move for the AoE thingy, and then you have to move to run to the ship if you're going to the ship, and then when you're on the ship, you've got to move all out of all the stuff. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here with all my long cast times going, what is going on? This is obnoxious. But it's not a bad fight. 3 targets is good for Demon, because it lets your dots tick. You just have to be very, very good with reapplying them. And it's pretty much it's tailor made for Demon and Cataclysm right on their faces every 1 minute.
Right. Cool. Is there anything particular? Do you find that? Yeah, because there is a lot of movement. Do you find like at the end when it's like berserker shit going on? Do you find like the turrets just as annoying as ranged as melee?
It is because I mean you don't have to stop to to stop it. Let me start over because apparently I'm tired. You don't have to stop moving to keep attacking. So I mean, if I'm in the middle of a cast and I have a fireball going in my face, well, I gotta stop that cast and move the hell over where that's gonna hurt. And when you've got more than one of them up, which fortunately we did not have tonight, but on previous skills, that has happened, and that is not fun. It's just you have no DPS at that point. Even tonight, I have practically no DPS. I'm just running around instant casting whatever I can because I cannot plant my feet long enough to actually make a cast time. I can't imagine how like an arcane mage does. I imagine they don't. They just don't on that fight. It does not happen because you cannot plant your feet for more than 2 seconds because you're going to get one of those lines where you got to stack up. You're going to get the squiggly line that's going to blow you up, or you're going to get a turret on your face, or it's just ridiculous in that last phase.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not I'm not gonna call you out, but I'm gonna check the damage done on the last 20% on the logs. You can keep going. Just loading it up.
I really don't want to know because I feel like I did no damage. I feel like I didn't execute at all. Like I don't. Maybe it's just that bad for everybody, and thus we're all in the same boat. I don't know that I want to see those logs.
Well, it's funny. I was whispering to Brash, like me, you, and Brash were all like, it was literally us three in like the 40, near the 40K or higher, and then it was literally like 6 people around the same time, and then everyone else. And it was just like there was just 3 of us, big long lines on the damage meters, and I was like, it just looked hilarious. It was just kind of crazy, even though you said like you may not have like done that well, but you did do well. I guess comparatively.
It's because Demon Locks hack on that fight. I mean, even if because my AoE does not require me to stand still, it's all instant cast aside from Kata, which is only 2 seconds. I can find 2 seconds to go hide in a corner and boom.
Right.
But it's my main execute I cannot use basically until there's 2 targets left.
Okay, from about 20% so and then lower. Day did the most damage with 10.1 million. Rhuller did second most, 9.5 million. Pl0x did the next most, 8.1, and then me, 7.9.
Okay, well, how much of that were you dead for?
Oh, 7%. 7% of that.
Okay, so give yourself 7% more.
Okay, I'll do the math.
The math.
Sherlock Holmes it up here. Do the times thingy.
I like that it's the times thingy. This is fantastic. They say American schools are awful.
Is there anything on that fight
I would
day?
I would move up 1 rank. I'd be 500,000 more damage. I'd be a full million below Rhuller. But you two do well in the execute on that one.
Bam.
And it's because my dots are still ticking, and I still have my instant casts. As long as there are 3 in a group, my instant casts carry me. My number 1, 2, and 3 is Chaos Wave, which is instant cast, Cataclysm, which is 2-second cast, and then Doom, which is a dot. So it's like, well, wait, what am I actually doing? I imagine if I could actually plant my feet, it'd probably jump me another 3 or 4K.
Ooh, this is actually
kind
of nice. It actually it shows the effective DPS in that time slot. Day did 45.6k in the execute phase, which is pretty close to what you ended at. Rhuller did 43.1k.
Wow.
Me and Pl0x did about 36k. So I would have done like 37, 38k if I wasn't dead.
Wow, so me and Day were actually closer.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. That's actually surprising because normally Day is like OP.
It's probably your dots.
Movement just kills me. My execute is not a I can move around thing. I have to plant my feet, blow my cooldowns, and pod. I know that the joke is Day doesn't pod. Day pods now.
Oh,
So,
it's good. I think we helped cause that.
yeah, well, I can only take so many. Did you pot this fight? Yeah, I pot it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, anyway, moving right along.
Yeah, it's I wish, I mean, I know I'm useful on the boat even though I died twice, but I'm useful on the boat, but I feel like I know actually like me and Brash would literally probably be way more useful on the dock. However, we would have to probably hard stop if both of us were down there cuz we already hard stop. So it's just like, oh my god, like, or not hard stop, but like cleave stop. And it's just like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, cleave stop. I totally stopped cleaving. No, I didn't.
Yeah, see, like I stop my blood boil, even though I want to use it because I get so frustrated. I don't get mad, but I'm just like, ugh, I just want to DPS. I just want to do my job, and I feel like when we have to single target, like I'm still doing my job, but it doesn't feel like I'm doing my job. It's just like, it bothers me. But I know it's in the favor of the the raid, I suppose. I actually don't even know, but
See, okay, okay. I'm gonna give my 2 cents. I respect Large, and he's a fantastic raid leader, and this is one of the reasons I don't raid lead anymore because I'm kind of an ass when I raid lead. But I see how low they are, and I'm like, no, I can still AoE, and I'm gonna keep AoEing until the point where I say, no, I can't AoE anymore. And one day that's gonna get me in trouble because the raid is gonna listen to this podcast and be like, oh, hey, doesn't stop AoEing. We're all gonna AoE now. But
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
that would not be good because I can cheat. But no, for me to stop AoEing is literally almost me stopping my single target. I can sit there and Shadow Bolt. That's about it. Like, I can't multi-dot, which means my Fury gen's gonna go down, which means I get less imps, which means I can't use... It's bad. It's just bad for my spec if I cannot AoE.
Well, I wanted to chime in and say, like, DPS stops in the history of Blizzard, like of WoW, have always been the most hated mechanics ever, in all of WoW, and so it makes sense that we all don't like doing it. Also, like, I think it helps that me and Dave have been playing for a long time, and I think we know how to ride that line, like, because I do the same thing. I check, if the ads are like 30%, I'm like, okay, I can still cleave for a little bit, and I'll do that. But if the ads are 24 or something, I'll stop, because they go into the next phase at 20, right?
Yeah, it's 20%. Though it's more like 21. I see them transition earlier than 20, at least according to the raid frames.
Right. Yeah, I definitely noticed that.
yeah.
And yeah, that's all good as long as not everyone does it. And I think me and Day also have that, like, we understand that not everyone is doing it, so like we're gauging that too. We're gauging kind of the whole thing.
And do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, fantastic parents. Anyway.
Oh my god. Anyway, okay, cool. Is there any other comments on Iron Maidens from either of you?
I actually like the fight. I'm trying to remember what it actually reminds me of, and it's vaguely reminiscent of the council fight back in Throne, which I also liked because so much DPS. But I mean, I actually like it. It's not often that you actually get a council fight that they actually have different health pools. And yeah, that does lead to hard DPS stops, but it's something different. Blizzard in their history has not done a lot of those. They've all been linked health pools, which is fine, but is kind of boring after a while.
Yeah. Like, friggin', I hated that fight at the end of Siege, the second last fight.
Oh.
I do not like that fight.
Paragons?
Paragons.
That's like anti-linked health pool. Like,
Yeah.
even, yeah, that's you spec single target and it doesn't matter.
It's weird. I remember running it as arms, and like I had to AoE, and it was just like, okay, so like I'm doing massive damage, but like everyone knows.
You and Coho. I just remember you and Coho like, oh, I'm cleaving all the things. Meanwhile, I'm coming up like 5th and 6th going, you bastards. I'm
Yeah,
single
exactly.
targeting. I hate you.
But like as arms, there's no way around it. Like you have to AoE. Like that is your single target, and just happens to cleave. And then they heal up when it dies, and it's like okay, so like it's just I just don't like fights like that. It's just it feels like kind of like a joke, even though the fight is hard for other reasons. But I like the damage aspect being challenging, but not too clunky.
Right. Cool. Sweet. So we're coming up on an hour, so I want to quickly just wrap up the main pod. I basically have no story times. The only story time I have is me tanking on Flamebender with the follower, and I literally was jumping around the whole time, and it was like the most fun I've had doing that fight. Literally doing nothing, but doing something. I was tanking. That's the only story time I have, unfortunately. So story time is not that great this time.
I have a story.
You had your corner, and you liked your corner.
I did like my corner.
And it was great.
It was good.
Meanwhile, the ad jumped on all our faces, which I did not appreciate very much. But,
I know. It was so awesome. I didn't even
while he was in your
him.
corner, all was well. I just taunt when he jumps away. Hooray!
Dave,
Brash, go ahead.
How hard was it to not dot that ad?
You do not understand. you do not. I played 10 years, a decade as a warlock. My instinct is to dot all the things. This is what we do.
I said it on the poll for you, literally. I'm like, don't dot it.
I'm sitting there like, I want to tap target. I want to tap. No, don't do it. Don't do it. It's only got like 4 million health. Don't you do it.
I know. It went down to like...
I really wanted to do it.
I literally, all I did was I did one death strike, and I did the rest like death coils once in a while, and they went down to like 80% health. I'm like, okay. So, yeah.
That I just wanted to say on that poll, it's not really a story time. It's just that poll was an absolute mess, and I died, and the dogs were all over the place, and because of that, my damage was like terrible. Like, and I whispered to Day right as we killed it. I'm like, Day, when shit goes like that, when it goes that south, my damage is atrocious. Like, it just hit me that like it needs to be such a clean kill for melee or like me a warrior specifically. It needs to be clean to be like, you know, a good damage fight. And yeah.
Melee do get it pretty rough. It hasn't been as bad as it used to be. I mean, vanilla and BC, you guys had it a lot rougher than you currently do.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But yeah, as range, we do sometimes get a break. It depends. Since the transition to, you can't move and cast, bastards, it's become a lot tougher. I'm not bitter or anything.
Well, I mean, I'll just take my side on this. I still think melee is the hardest role. Yeah. Not like I'm not saying it's harder than healing or for DPS.
Yeah, healing is much harder than anything else. I have tanked and DPS'd and healed both melee and range. No healing. No, I do not do this. I do not bubble all the things. I do not heal all the things. I do not haunt all the things. No. I dot all the things. They die. We collect loot. This is how this works.
Sorry, can I just want to actually just quickly wrap this main pod up, and we can talk about this in the after show if you don't mind. That's all good.
Sure. I just want to quickly plug all of our stuff. So basically, thank you all for watching. If you want to stick around for the after show, really appreciate it. Hopefully Day won't pass out and we can have a bit of a discussion afterwards where we talk about random stuff. I want to thank Dave for joining us for this podcast. We really appreciate it. Also, if you want to check out any of our kill videos and the previous podcast videos, you can check out on YouTube. Search Rhuller space gaming. So that's just put a space, don't write space. Gaming, and there is a bunch of kill vids and all that kind of stuff. Please like and subscribe. That would be really helpful. You can also check out other kill vids on Brash's channel. It's Brashear Wow, one word. Search that and it'll be there. Also, I have a Twitter if you do the tweeting. I don't use it very often, but it's a good place where I pop up with my streams and all that kind of stuff. It's just Rhuller SRL. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all again for watching. Hope you stick around. And Brashear will link some stuff there for you. And yeah, thanks, Day, for coming on.